February 2024 will never be the same again.
Smiling just hearing you saying that, Simone. Continue, sorry.
It's to be confirmed. We're waiting for it to be confirmed. Mercedes haven't said anything.
Charles Leclerc going down to number 2 driver. That's going to be interesting because you know he is.
Well, hi everyone. This is going to be a very quick one because dun, 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 we have breaking news. Yes, we have yesterday. I thought was going to be such a beautiful day off. I've been pretty much off all week and I thought, oh, Thursday, I'm just going to relax. I had a manicure booked. I was just going to chill. And then I'm seeing tweets online and then people tagging us in tweets, like people are tagging really up, people tagging me. Simone, can we get a podcast on this, please? Like, what's going on? Like, and I was like, what is happening? Then I get online and see. But everyone was like, it needs to be confirmed. We're waiting for it to be confirmed. Mercedes haven't said anything. Ferrari haven't said anything. It was such a whirlwind of like speculation, but it was good.
And that's why straight away we had to jump on, even on a Zoom. We had to record this one on a Zoom because we're separate at the moment. But we had to jump on and just say, hey everyone, welcome to Wheel It Up. You know what we do. We talk all things Formula One, track goss, race reviews, and we've had massive news. So we had to jump on quick time and give our download of this. What a madness. What a madness. But you know what was so mad for me, Simone, is that at the end of last season, we spoke about this as if we were in some do-lally world. I remember us having a conversation about, okay, if Lewis was ever to theoretically leave Mercedes, where could he actually go? And we had this whole thing, oh, well, it couldn't be here, it couldn't be there. And then I think it was you actually who said, it was either you or me, but one of you guys said, Ferrari. And I was like, nah, man, that ain't never going to happen. And here we are, the news coming in, Lewis moving to Ferrari.
The 1st of February 2024 will never be the same again. Oh my God. Like, it was astronomical. So let's delve straight into it. So yeah, Lewis has been with Mercedes since 2013. So it's been a very long time. He's been with them. And we have witnessed some of the greatest driving, some of the greatest wins, some of the greatest accomplishments, record-breaking stuff from Lewis Hamilton.
I'm smiling just hearing you saying that, Simone. Continue, sorry. It just brings joy to me. It just brings joy.
But last year, don't forget, August 2023, it was around summertime, I remember, they'd announced Lewis has signed a new contract. I was like, wow, you're getting it done early, because normally it comes down to the wire and it's normally like this time Lewis still hasn't signed his contract yet. And we're like, well, what's happening? Like, is he going to be there or what? So we've like, he's he signed a new contract. It was until end of 2025. But I remember when we were recording one of the episodes and you said, it was you, Chanise, that said, I wonder what's going to happen in 2025. And you said, is he going to stay or what? Because then what happens after that? And I was like, well, we don't know, kind of thing. And now we're here. But obviously, beknownst to us, Lewis had a break clause in his contract, which I think any smart sports person would, especially with the situation that Mercedes are in.
I think you should have just a top tip. I think you should have like a break clause in any contract, even a house contract, because that has saved my life.
Yeah, because you just never know what will happen.
Yeah.
And here we are. He's activated it. He's announced this at the start, before, like pre-season 2024. Next year, 2025, I'm driving for someone else. And I'm like, so we've still got to go a whole 24 races, knowing full well that you're leaving and going somewhere else.
There's an issue now, right? So yes, we've got 24 races where you already know that you're leaving. So what does that do to you mentally? Does that mean you want to give it your all because this is your last moments in the team? Or does it mean actually you already know that this car isn't going to be very good, hence why you've already decided to leave? That relationship with Lewis and George, like, what is that going to be like? I mean, maybe it'll be a positive thing because George is probably going to be like number one driver now, right? I personally think he deserves it. Charles Leclerc going down to number 2 driver, that's going to be interesting because you know he is. There is nobody else. Charles Leclerc would just not be the first driver. It just can't happen like that, especially when Lewis has made such a big move. It wouldn't be, it's not a small thing. It's Simone, it's just giving me like, I can't believe we were literally talking about this at the end of the season. It's actually here. I'm just
Can you believe next year, potentially, all three of us are going to be wearing Ferrari. Can you believe that?
No, this is the worst. This is the worst timing. This is the worst time because my team this season, and you guys knew it, and I promised it at the end of last season, my team this season is McLaren. I've got the t-shirt. Okay, not this one, but I've got the t-shirt. I met an F1 engineer from McLaren and he got me a t-shirt. Yeah. And I was like, honestly, you guys are my team this year, man. I'm repping you. It's gonna be the one. And now Lewis has gone to Ferrari, and I'm like, what is going on? So yeah, I will still continue to rep McLaren this season and just see how I get on with Ferrari. Maybe I'll go back again next year, or maybe I feel foolish for leaving them for a season. Let's see. But the point is, the secondary headline for me, Simone, what I wanted to bring up is everyone's talking about Lewis. Oh, Lewis moving to Ferrari, that this is amazing. But the second headline here for me, and what everyone's kind of like disregarding, is like, okay, so what's happening to Carlos? What's happening to Carlos Sainz? That's another headline there. Like, Carlos ain't got no seat. Well, although after his statement, I feel like he might have something sorted, because he did say, like, I'll let you know what's happening with me soon.
Yeah, he did that. He did allude to that in the end of his statement, which was very short and sweet. And he says, following today's news, I am leaving at the end of the season. Well, we know that because you definitely can't stay. So yeah, I wonder where he's going to go. There's lots of speculation. Where could he go? Who could he drive for? We don't know. Some people are saying Audi, but they're not going to come in for a couple of, like, I think it's 2026. And what, we just don't know where Carlos is going to go yet. Like, there's going to be some definitely reshuffling on that grid, because some other drivers' contracts are expiring. And someone tweeted me and said, do you think Ocon is going to go into Lewis's seat? Because obviously he's managed by Toto. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I actually can't see it. I'm not gonna lie. Me being a petty cow, I would actually love Perez to get in there.
Yeah. Do you know who I would like to see in there? I don't think it'll happen, but I would like to see Alex Albon in that seat.
He would be good. He would be good.
I think like it's his time. It's George's time to kind of step up, and it's Alex Albon's time to be given another shot. And I want to say another shot, like with a big car, but it's not really, it's not even anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It doesn't. Mercedes doesn't have that heavyweight, that stature that it did like 5 years. Like it's not there, and that's the awkward thing now. It's like there's a seat in Mercedes. It's a hot ticket, but if their car isn't on fire,
no,
it's not a hot ticket. So it's like, oh, who wants that then?
It's so crap that Lewis must have looked at it and says, nah, I'm gone. He activated the clause so quickly before the start of this season, before we'd even got on a track, before we'd even done testing, like he's said, nah, I don't want this car. I'm sorry. Whatever you're doing for 2025, I don't want to be a part of it.
What's interesting though, what I was thinking is that realistically, we're coming at it from a fan's perspective. So we don't know the conversations been going on in the background. We don't know what's been happening. These conversations must have been going on for months, but everything must be in place, and everyone really who's actually in the sphere must know about all of this. However, why choose to announce it now?
Yeah, that's the question.
Announce it at the beginning. The races haven't even started. We haven't even seen. Have we seen the car?
No, the launch is next week.
Exactly. We haven't even seen the car.
Isn't it? No, next week, not the week before. I think it's like Valentine's week.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 2 weeks time.
Yeah, I think it's either the 13th or the 14th. Like, it's that week. Like, how can you do you know how awkward this is? Yeah. Like, this is so awkward. This is weird. It really is. This just reminds me of, like, last week we had Jurgen Klopp from Liverpool Football Manager announcing that he's going to be leaving at the end of the season, and I was like, hold on a second, like, why have you announced it so early? And then Lewis goes and announces, I'm leaving at the end of this year.
Yeah, it's basically next year. Like, that's what it feels like. I don't know, Simone. I don't know. I wonder, like, how do you feel that George is taking this?
I don't actually care how he's taken it, if I'm being particularly honest with you, Chanise. If I'm being honest, I don't really care. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure George will be there. Oh, it's my time to shine. He'll be there, like, you know, rubbing his hands like, oh, yes, this is really good for me. Well, like, I think George will be fine with it. I think he'll be happy. I think he'll want to have a say or have maybe some input, even though he'll probably say, oh, I don't have an input, but like who we'd want, blah, blah, as in to join him. But yeah, this is so interesting. And you know what the thing is, a lot of people have said, you know, through various times in Formula One, oh, Lewis, you know, it'd be nice if Lewis was at Ferrari. Lewis could be at Ferrari one day. And a lot of people thought, oh yeah, like that's probably never going to happen. He's so dedicated, so committed to Mercedes. And now look, the 1st of Feb 2024, he announced, I'm actually going over there. And someone made a really good point on Twitter yesterday and said, it's like coming into football, and when you come into football, you always dream of playing for the big teams. That you want to play for Barcelona or Real Madrid, or you want to play for one of the big four clubs in England. So you've come into Formula One and you've been a part of Mercedes, the Mercedes family for your whole career. Like you kind of looking over there, like when you think of Formula One, do you not think of Ferrari? I want to see what's over there. I want to test that. I want to drive that. I want to experience that.
I think for me, Lewis has made this move because I think he wants to retire in Ferrari. I've always thought that. I've always thought, unless he got like his eighth world championship in Mercedes and Mercedes car was still running fire, I think he wants to retire at Ferrari like that. I think for him, he's always had that. That's like his soft spot. Do you know what I mean? And regardless of how the car is or whatever, maybe he thinks that he can do well in the car regardless. Because let's be honest, Ferrari have been doing some really silly things, some really silly mistakes. So you'd need to have a soft spot for that sort of team to want to go there. Do you know what I mean though? Like, because he's watching it thinking, nah, man, that pit stop was dead. Or nah, like, you know, there's just
strategies are all over the place.
All over the place. So he either thinks he can go in there and clean it all up and do really well, or it's because he has a genuine soft spot for the team. And I think he does. And I think that is, if he could have retired anywhere, it would have been Ferrari. Like this is his day one.
He's
think back on that.
I think this season is going to be so interesting. This is the first time I'm ever going to say I can't wait for Drive to Survive, because my God, they're running to the bank right now. The content they're going to film.
Running with my bag of money. Yeah, literally. Simone, you've never looked forward to Drive to Survive. You hate Drive, well, don't hate it, but you know, dislike it. But I think it's going to be a great season of Drive to Survive. And even more so, I'm looking forward to next year's Drive to Survive.
That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting.
It's next year's one. But however, I do think that in general, I'm just looking forward to the F1 season anyway. Just because there's going to be lots of different like things happening in relationships. Like, for example, will George now come out with even more strategies? You know how he likes to do his own thing, his own little strategies, because he knows that Lewis is leaving and he's trying to step up. Will other people on the grid be like really giving it their all because there's a hot seat in Ferrari? I don't know, but I think it's going to make for some really interesting driving. I think we've got a lot to look forward to this season.
Definitely have. I think Lewis has been like almost silently plotting and planning away. Like when it was announced a couple of weeks ago, he's brought back his old manager Mark Hines. I was like, Lewis, what's happening here? And you know, bringing back old people that were good for you, and you're like, I need you back in my corner. For one reason. Obviously, at that time we thought, oh, he's still at Mercedes, so you know he's bringing it back because you know it's going to be a different season with them, blah blah. No. He's like, I'm bringing you back because I'm trying to rebuild something. I'm trying to get that 8th world championship, yeah? Whether I get it here or I get it over there at Ferrari, we're going to get this together. So when I heard he was bringing it back, I was like, okay.
Yeah. I would love, I mean, this is hot goss. I would love to keep hearing people's opinions on this. So, you know, you asked for a pod, we delivered, but we also want to know what you guys have to say about it, the different relationships, what you're looking forward to this season. Let us know. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it is going to be. And you know what? Charles Leclerc is going to be so happy. He is sitting next to the 7-time world champion. Yeah, you're saying your face is like, is he going to be? But he is a fan of Lewis. He is going to be happy. He's going to be driving with him. Come on. I can't see Charles being like, oh, I'm so devastated about this. Yeah, you're going to get, demoted, but come on. Look who you're driving next to.
Yeah, fair enough, but I don't know, it's that it depends on how big he is in terms of like pride. Do you know what I mean? Like, is pride a big thing for him? Because being demoted isn't like, it's not nice, but he might think, actually, no, I need this. Like, I'm not quite ready to be that number one driver. Maybe I need someone who I can learn a lot from, gain a lot of experience, you know? I don't know.
I,
Until you said that, I wasn't thinking, I was thinking, oh, Charles gonna not be happy about this. But actually, yeah, you're probably right.
I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna be fine. In all honesty, I think he's gonna relish the the partnership. I think it's gonna be good. I mean, I will say, red does not look good on me. Just an FYI, Lewis. Like, I'm not really a red fan, but we'll go with the flow. Okay, we'll just go with it. Yeah, I do think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good for him. I would love to be in the F1 drivers group chat right now. I just want to see the messages flying. And you know they've got private messages going left, right, and centre. Like, they're all
Did you know about this, George? Did you know about this? Talking like, oh yeah, it's been in the works, but I haven't been able to say anything. What do you guys think about it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting thing.
Do you
And
know
it's
what?
such big news.
Do you know what's so funny though? In all of this, I feel like all of this news is going to just overtake. Like, in this whole pod, we haven't mentioned like Max's name once. Do you know what I mean? This whole episode that we've just recorded now, that we're talking about, we haven't mentioned Max's name once. We haven't talked about how that might affect, you know, kind of like Red Bull, etc. Because that's not the news. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not what people don't care about Red Bull and Max. Like, this is like, it's Lewis and Ferrari. That's what I'm loving about this whole conversation. Like, nah, who cares about what it's going to do to Red Bull and Max? This is what's going to
Exactly.
do
Like, it's
to the
not
whole
even,
grid.
it's not about them, to be honest with you. And if I'm being honest, this is probably one of the best signings Ferrari have made in
Yeah.
a minute. Like, this is it now. Like, don't fumble the bag. You're getting the bag, right? You're getting the best here. Don't fumble it with your, I don't know what strategy we're going on. And we're on strategy DEF. Like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, oh, Lewis, what do you want to do? Like, what should we do here? Just know you've got a whole year to work on your team. You've got a whole year to get your pit stops right, get your strategies right, get the car right.
That's what I was about to say, actually. That is the one thing we haven't really mentioned or talked about, is like, this might be great for Lewis, like Lewis and Ferrari, but what if Ferrari aren't ready? Like, what if Ferrari let him down? Like, what if Ferrari like can't come? What if Lewis brings it, but Ferrari can't come? Like, what happens then? Like, where are we? Now I'm worrying. The anxiety.
The thing is, though, he must have faith, and they must have promised him something good, because this is a multi-year deal. This isn't a 1-year deal that he's signed, you know. This is like, I'm committed to what you're doing over there. I can see that it's going to be better than what I've got. I'm coming. Carlos got to go because I'm coming. So it's on that verge of like, it's got to be good. It is. It's got to be good. And like, you've got a whole year, you've got a whole 365 to get ready. He's given you more than enough time to say, hey, get your shit together.
We haven't heard about Perez leaving, but could Carlos take a Red Bull seat?
Listen, who knows what will happen in F1? I don't know, and I ain't going to predict anything.
But every time we do, it seems to happen. So I'm out here predicting. Let me get my little mystic Meg ball.
I do think that someone is. I would love Perez to go somewhere else and just start challenging Max from any different team. I would love that. I really, really would.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so good, I think. And I don't think I mentioned this to you. Or actually, it might have been in our intro pod when I met Lewis at the BBC Sports Personality, and we were talking, and he said this was 2018, so it was just the end, 2018. Yeah, and the last race of the season in Abu Dhabi had just happened, and he said, "Oh, did you watch it? I mean, were you there?" And I said, "No, I watched it." And we were talking about Formula One, obviously, and I said, "Oh, I grew up supporting Ferrari. Like, Ferrari was my team. Like my dad supported Ferrari, my granddad, blah blah blah. You know, I grew up as a Michael Schumacher fan." He was like, "Oh, thanks." But then I started talking about that. I said, well, I support you now. Like I'm a Mercedes fan, I'm a Lewis fan, blah, blah. And I literally thought back to that yesterday. Like I literally told Lewis Hamilton I used to support.
He's channeling his inner Simone. He's like, I remember that time I met that one girl and she said Ferrari was a team, so maybe that was a calling for me.
It very, very much. But I was just thinking back to that yesterday, like, well, I really told Lewis that I used to support a different team and now I support you.
And now he knows you support the team that him and the team he's going to be in. So there we go, perfect.
I would love to know where the contract was signed. Like, how did the deal go down? What did you do on holiday? But were you in a secret room somewhere? Like, how did this contract get signed? I want to know. I want to know where they were, how it happened. I just want to know.
Well, maybe it'll come out soon. Potentially this year's Drive to Survive, actually.
Potentially. And you know, it's got to be a big thing for there to be like an emergency meeting at Brackley, Mercedes headquarters. I think it was at 2:00 they called this meeting. And imagine you're not in work and you're just at home just chilling and whatnot. It's like, oh, emergency meeting at 2:00. You've got to drive all the way there or commute into work just for this meeting to be told, oh, sir, Lewis is leaving. I ain't being funny, but you could have sent an email to me. I'm not driving all that way for you to tell me Lewis is leaving. I'm just, what?
No, but that's because we're fans. If you were in it, I'd want to be in the room talking about, okay, what's the plan now? What's the strategy? What are we going to do? Well, where are we going to go? Because also they need to be able to answer certain questions that they're going to get asked from people. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's like the media or they need to have like a full proper debrief. For me, it can't be an email. I need to know what the fucking strategy, like where are we going?
Do it on Zoom then, Zoom me. Like I've got to come to work.
We can zoom in. We can Zoom.
I've got to come into work. Oh my God. You want me to come in? You need to tell me that he's leaving. And then I've got to leave as well. Like, come on.
That's every day for Simone. Work? I've got to go to work. I've got to travel again.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 2024 season. I think it's going to be interesting. Everyone's going to be asking this question. It's going to be a huge thing. It's going to get overshadowed. I mean, yeah, I wonder what Christian Horner's thinking. I wonder what Max is thinking. I wonder where they were when they heard the news. I'd love to see their reactions. They're thinking, wow.
I'd love to know who knew. Somebody would have known. A collective would have known. Was it everyone keeping it on the DL? Or was it like specific people? I would love to have known that.
I think only a few people knew. That contract got signed. I think Lewis would have done his best to keep it quiet.
Yeah.
And you know what makes me laugh now? I just mentioned Christian Horner. Do you remember a couple of months ago when he was saying, "Oh, Lewis had texted me or whatever not," and he wants to come over.
The cheek of it. The actual cheek of it. And the thing is, because I was convinced, well, not convinced, but I was thinking maybe Lewis did text him though. And that's okay. But don't out him. But for me, now that he's going to Ferrari, I'm kind of like, oh, that's even worse because it could be true. Do you know what I mean? Like he could have been like asking around what's going on. So yeah, but the cheek of it. I can't believe he did that.
Wow.
Really annoyed me that did.
It is so interesting. I just feel like although I joked about it yesterday, I do wonder deep down like how is Carlos feeling? What is he feeling? How is he dealing with this news? Because to just obviously he would have known a couple of before us. But then for it to be out there and we're like, rah, like the team don't want you anymore. Like this is it now. You've used
it feels slightly unfair because obviously Charles Leclerc had himself sorted out for years. You know what I mean?
He is the like golden child of them.
Exactly. And it's kind of like if you guys both had, you know, like contracts that were ending or whatever, would it be a bit of a toss up? Oh, we don't know. We could keep Charles. But there was no question about it. There was no actual, you know, period of time where they were kind of trying to prove themselves or whatever, because it was already in the bag. If anyone had to lose a seat, it had to be Carlos. And I feel like it's not quite fair. But, you know, do you, hun? You got to sort yourself out, haven't you? Charles Leclerc did him.
Yeah, you've got to. And we also need to remember that Lewis and Fred Vasseur have a relationship anyway. Like, he's over at Ferrari now. They have had a relationship for a while before he was at Ferrari, like since pretty much Lewis is coming to F1. So he's always sort of looked at him as a little bit of a confidant and like a, I don't want to say mentor, but just somebody like, you know, within F1 that he can you know, talk to. So the fact that he's brought him to Ferrari, let me tell you, I can't imagine the bonus that Fred is going to get.
Some commission for bringing in this.
The cases of wine that might just be mysteriously turning up to his house, gifts.
Yeah. Flowers and
everything.
Merch.
Yeah, you name it. Like, honestly, this is a big thing for Ferrari. Like, you have the biggest driver in F1 in your team, and Lewis doesn't just come as an F1 driver. He comes as someone who you can market. He comes as someone who is involved in so many other things. Like, he's a full package. Like, you do so much with him. You know, like, yeah. Although I don't like red, like, it's just gonna have to be a thing.
It's funny because I was thinking exactly that just before you said it, because when you were talking about, oh, you know, the commission, the flowers and the whatever, I was thinking, yeah, and the deals, like the designer deals and whatever, you know, just thinking back to like Lewis just being able to wear whatever the hell he wants, whenever he wants, you know, all things like that would have had to have been negotiated into these contracts. So it's a whole package, it's a whole suite. And I'm looking forward to seeing, what Lewis does with it. I feel like this news is going to dominate the whole year. It doesn't matter what the hell's going to happen in F1. Who cares if Max win another world title? Everyone's like, forget all of that. Let's get on to next season so we can see Lewis in the Ferrari.
I almost don't even. I'm excited for this season, but I almost don't care about it because we're like, listen, something good is about to happen in 2020.
Yeah. I need to exert my positive energy to over here. Yeah, exactly.
That's where we need to be. Okay, I'm not trying to rush time, but I'm just saying, like, it's gonna be a good one. It really is. And you know, the question is always going to get asked, like, what made you just make the decision and announcement now? What made you think now is the time? You know, he said now is the perfect time. Blah blah blah. I feel like you definitely saw something that you didn't like.
I thought maybe he's seen the car or he knows about the car and he doesn't have full confidence in Mercedes to be able to like retire his career there.
Also, he's been there for a long time and change is always good. Change is always, it always brings around new challenges, new environment. You never know. So we'll see. What I'm saying, Ferrari, just don't fuck it up because listen, you have constantly fucked shit up in the past.
Yeah, I've got this awful feeling in my mind that they're going to fuck it up, but I'll stay positive until we see that. Let's see what they're like this season, because if they're terrible this season, everyone's going to be on Lewis like, Lewis, this was a terrible decision. So,
but don't forget when he moved from McLaren to Mercedes, I'm sure people were saying the exact same thing, like, how are you leaving McLaren, you go to Mercedes, blah blah. Look what he did for Mercedes. Look what he did for them.
He's done it once. Can he do it again? It's Lewis Hamilton.
Champion.
Oh my god, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. What a good way to end our day. Okay, right. Well, Simone, you were supposed to head off 10 minutes ago.
No, I've got to go because I'm going to the darts. So yeah. This was an in and an out, girl. I gotta go. In
and out. You asked, we delivered, but we still want to hear what your opinions are. So everyone who's listening, please do let us know. And looking forward to the next season. Looking forward to being more on the pod, letting everyone know what we think about it. Oh, it's going to be so exciting.
We shall see y'all in a couple of weeks.
Bye.